Hi, everybody. I'm Butch Stearns, once again coming to you from the Activate Network Summit. I'm with Greg Gallo, who is the VP of Life Sciences with Activate Networks. Greg, how are you?
Doing great, Butch. Good to see you. Good to be here at the,
yes, good to see you too.
Scientific beatdown at Harvard Square.
Great event, though.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, you guys must be excited. I mean, you work hard, your organization does, to put this together. Like Steve Wardell, who's a VP of Marketing, you being a VP and at that level, you got to be proud of all the people that have worked on this.
We really are. It's a great effort, but most importantly, it's the interest that we've generated to be the thought leaders in network science across several industries is really important, and that's what we're trying to establish, is more about the learnings and what's going on as opposed to making it a commercial event. So we're getting a lot of interest from people who are fellow travelers in the area of applying network science to improve business or healthcare outcomes.
So let's talk about that. Now, your DNA, what I've learned about Activate Networks, is harnessing that power of your social network, your clients, your customers, and your organizational network analysis. Translate that to pharma. Translate that to life sciences, network sciences.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a couple of really important things that everybody needs to remember about the pharma business, and it's primarily because they are, at the end of the day, a medical and a commercial organization, and their challenge is to blend all the medical activities that go on, the information about safety, wellness, outcomes of their drugs, but they're in a competitive market. They have to sell, they have to perform, and they spend billions of dollars on education and promotion in any given year. The advantage of network science for the industry really is that we've got a new solution that is helping solve an evergreen problem. If you went back 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years in the pharma industry, the number one challenge you're going to hear, aside from the R&D, is how do I improve promotion effectiveness? What's my sales force effectiveness? What's my messaging strategy? Am I calling on the right doctors, and how do I know? So network science now has evolved to the point where there's a more specified way to really understand where business is coming from, who the influencers are, that allows our customers to understand their markets better, understand their customers better, and target better. So the net effect is improved efficiency. It's promotion effectiveness.
So let me ask you about physicians networks. And when I say that as a patient, I think about, for the longest time, especially here in New England, there have been physicians networks, and there's always been this thought from me as an average citizen that you know, they know more than us, they're talking with us. But when you think of the power of physicians networks, and you think about network science and life science, it's pretty there's a challenge and an opportunity to harness that power when it comes to physicians networks, isn't there?
Yeah, very much. And I think you hit on a couple of key points. First of all, physicians are indeed very smart and very educated. But if you think about what it is that they need to absorb on a daily basis now, when they went into medicine, they didn't know they had to be business people. They didn't know they had to be claims adjusters. They didn't know they need to be psychologists or government regulators. So now the intensity and pressure on a physician just to practice medicine and take good care of their patients is compounded by the fact that they're running an organization now, an operation that perhaps they never had any interest in doing or any ability to do.
And from the business end, they need to be more efficient.
That's right.
They need to be more effective, and they have opportunities to using networks to do that, right?
So now layer on that backdrop of what their life is like today to drug companies who are trying to educate and promote medicines. And it is very much education and selling. There's a lot of new information, a lot of new medicines that come out that physicians have to keep up with. They need to be informed, they need to understand how certain drugs work, how they interact, et cetera. Well, it used to be that you just sent reps out knocking on the door and docs were happy to see them and everything was great. Well, the bigger the pressures are on physicians now, the less time they have, the less interest they have, particularly in organizations who are going to waste their time because their time is so precious. So now the challenge for the pharma industry and for medical device companies is to identify the doctors who are most influential in their communities and make sure that they're able to target with the messages and the information that those physicians need to hear. The opportunity for the drug companies is that if they know which doctors connect to who and where the influence is moving, they can be more productive so they can add value to those physicians and not knock on doors where they're not going to get any return. So network science now allows you to understand, if we're here in Cambridge, which physicians in a given therapeutic category really matter based on their behaviors. And physicians may or may not know that they're connected to one another. As you or I as patients move through the healthcare system, we're seeing different doctors for different reasons. Some of our doctors may know each other, others may not. At the end of the day, though, we have the ability to map a patient as they traverse through the healthcare system, but what it highlights then is who connects to who and who has influence. Who are the influencers versus those that are likely to be receptive to behaviors from other physicians?
Yeah, it's fascinating because when you think of the power of the networks, and I think of social media in general where everybody has a voice, you have a prominent surgeon at Mass General, and you have a doctor who's got his practice on the South Shore or the North Shore that has the same opportunity to be an influencer because of social networking, because of social media.
You nailed it, Butch. That's exactly the case, and that neither one of those physicians may know that they are or aren't influential. So think about it almost as an invisible relationship.
Right,
that
but if I'm living
exists.
on the South Shore and the North Shore, they're influential to me because
They
they've
are.
got their connection to me, and the
Sure.
pharma companies want
That's
to get
right.
to me.
Exactly. No, you got it. You got it. So now think about companies with hundreds, if not thousands, of sales forces and millions of dollars of promotion resources to allocate. In this day and age, wouldn't it make more sense to know that doctor on the South Shore and not knock on 7 other doors, which are going to yield low fruit?
Absolutely. So, Greg, final question.
Yeah.
This summit this year compared to last year, or what did you learn today?
Right. Well, the big takeaways really are advancing, first of all, our company as a thought leader in the space of network science. So not just physician markets, but organizational network analytics and the power of leadership development and culture change and understanding who's who in an organization.
Yeah.
So internal and external applications for network science.
Got it.
That's one of the big takeaways. The other is moving literally from the research and the academia into commercial applications that have real returns on investment. So this year's highlights were a couple of areas where we're able to show studies now saying if you used a network-informed strategy, can you expect better results? Not just is it cool and is it a good research paper for the guys at Harvard, but is it something that you or I, if we're running a business, can actually look at and say, it's worth us investing in this, it's worth us deploying this tool to actually improve our performance. That's the big takeaway.
Yeah, and you learn as much as you teach at an event like this.
Yep, very much so. We have a great network of folks that came.
Nice talking with you,
It's
Greg.
been a pleasure.
Greg Gallo, the VP of Life Sciences from the Activate Networks. This is the Activate Network Summit 2012.